So it's been a bit since I posted an arena run, and a large part of that has to do with the fact that I just haven't been playing them on stream often. I am still playing the format heavily. I played a lot off stream as a way to kind of supplement my collection. We're still doing really well in arena, but I haven't had footage. So we finally did one the other night. A bunch of the viewers really wanted to see an arena run, get some tips. So we went 7 wins. It wasn't 7-0, but we did go to 7 wins, and so I decided that we would chop up so that we could get some highlight games, the run, and also show you the draft process, because I think that's the most valuable part of the arena runs, especially for new players if you're just breaking into the game and you want to kind of see like what works and why. So here we go. Here is an arena run that still got 7 wins, and I go over every pick I make and explain every pick, and I hope it helps you. If you haven't checked out the other ones I've done, make sure you find those videos as well on the channel, and enjoy. So we'll do the arena thing, I guess. First things first, right? In picking a deck, this one's going to be really easy. We're going to go with Monk. The reason is twofold. One, I think that in terms of arena, strength is probably the weakest attribute. It does okay if you're playing Battle Mage because of the synergies, but for the most part, strength just typically underperforms. And in my opinion, the best attribute is agility, right? So in this instance, we got one choice with agility that's also our only choice without strength, so we go with Monk, hands down. My favorite, so like if I had to have like a tier list, if you will, my favorite is to play Scout, because I think that the high health minions that are available in Endurance are really, really strong in Arena, and they trade very well, and they've got a lot of decent smork options as well. But in this case here, this is a no-brainer, right? Strength, again, is kind of the weakest. Agility is pretty strong because it's versatile, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick Monk. All right, so good choices here. Legion Shield is kind of ho hum, right? The 3 health is nice. The guard can be nice, but for the most part, it doesn't do like it. At a 2-drop, it's not a real 2-drop because it requires you to have something on the board, so it's misleading. And so our choices here are Cliff Racer. Charge is fantastic. Charge is like rather broken in this game because of the split lanes. Or Murkwater Witch, which has guard and can basically curse something to trigger finish off effects and is great. If this were later in the draft and we knew we had finish off effects, I would maybe lean harder on Murkwater Witch, but I think we're going to end up taking Cliff Racer here. So the reason why is because this gives us reach, and this can double as removal if we just need to trade with something, whereas this is basically just removal, right? Removal and reach versus removal, right? But we want to favor removal. So if you're familiar with playing Magic, I try to follow that same BREAD acronym, right? So bombs first, removal second. But this is like pseudo removal because it can charge. So we're going to go with this. All right, so next pick, Calm. Calm is, in my opinion, like not very good by itself. I think you need to have synergies this early in the draft. I don't think you can warrant taking it. So now our choice is Resolute Ally or Tusked Bristleback. We don't know if we're going to end up being heavy willpower or heavy agility, so it's risky to pick this and bank on the trigger. Ideally, we'd like to be heavy agility. I think there's better stuff there. That being said, it's still a 3-drop, which is nice. Our other option is this. He's got decent stats, like a 5/5 for 5, like isn't great, but it isn't horrible, and he's just vanilla. I'm hesitant to take another 5-drop this early because you want early drops. You want more 2s than 3s, more 3s than 4s typically, right? Like you usually want like this nice linear downfall here, but I think we still take the Bristleback because we can't bank on this. But again, if we're looking at, he's a 5/5 for 5, he's a 3/3 for 3. Might be more important to just make sure we have the 3-drop, actually. It's a similar scaling of stats. I mean, 5 health is more important, but... Alright, I may have talked myself out of it here. I think we're going to go with this because, again, the early drops are more favored, right? We want to stick with our game plan for that. Alright, so we have, in this one, 2 1-drops and then a 3-drop Now, he's got superior stats than our ally, right? He's a 3-4. Those are actually really good stats for a 3-drop, even though he's vanilla. Scouting Patrol is like getting a 2/2's worth of stats for 1, but they're split in each lane and they're kind of brittle. Here we get a 2/1 with Drain. Drain is nice. Now, that being said, I tend to actually not draft a lot of 1-drops because half the time you're going to have an Elixir, and half the time you're likely just going to be looking for a 2-drop to play. There's also not a lot of 1-drops that exist in the game, so drafting them and then hoping that you're going to get them is, also a stretch. So I think we take this just because he's got superior stats, and I'm not a big fan of the 1-drops. Alright, so here we have Butcher, Pack Wolf, Finish Off. We're going to take the Finish Off because it's removal, but just a quick overview. Butcher's just a 3/2 for 3, which is not very good. But if you get him on your first turn, then he costs 1, and then he's fantastic. He's kind of like a great filler card in Arena. I would never prioritize him, but I'm not upset if I draft him. Pack Wolf is basically a 3/3 for 3. He just splits his stats across the lane. So, but anyway, Finish Off is removal. We value removal. We're going to take removal. Alright, so we have Murkwater Goblin. He's a 2/1 for 0 on our turn. Otherwise, he's an 0/1. He does not trade well. He's kind of junk. Kvetch Soldier, quality 2-drop. 2/3 decent stats. Guard is good. Nimble Ally. 3/3 for 3 has a chance to be a 4/4. Again, kind of too early to tell if we can bank on this trigger. And since we value 2-drops and we technically don't have one yet because this doesn't count, I think we take the Soldier here just to stay on curve here, stay on attempt. Alright, so again, 1-drop, not a big fan. Slightly better 1-drop, not a big fan. So then that leaves us with the Highwayman. He's a 3-drop with lackluster stats, but if you can get the Pilfer to even trigger once, then he's entirely worth it with the draw card. And if you can get it to trigger more than once, you're probably going to win the game. So in this case, we're going to take him because the other ones are lackluster. All right. Epics. Mystic. 4/4 for 5. Pilfer, draw random, support from your deck. We have 0 supports. Probably not going to take it. Artem Savant. When you play an action, give a random friendly creature +1/+1. We only have 1 action, and you typically don't get a lot in Arena. Probably not going to take it. Murkwater Shaman. 4-drop. Don't have one yet. 3/3. Ho-hum stats, but start of your turn you put a curse into your hand. If you're new to the game, curse is a 0-cost action that gives something -1/-1. He can win games by himself in Arena. If you can protect him, you're just gonna win. We're gonna windmill this pick. Really excited that it came up. All right, so again, they really want us to take one of these. We got Drain, a 2/1. Again, this is like a 3/3 for 3, basically, or Arrow to the Knee. Does 1 damage to a creature and shackles it. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the 1-drops, so now it's between Pack Wolf and Arrow in the Knee, and it's not as easy as it looks in terms of making the decision. On the one hand, this can be removal, and the shackle helps with tempo, so it's not horrible. On the other hand, this helps feed our Resolute Ally synergy, and it's a body. So it's kind of hard to go wrong with either choice. As a personal preference thing, I like the body, just because the 1 damage isn't usually that big of a deal, but we do already have at least 1 Finish Off, and we have a Murkwater Shaman, so if we can combine this with a curse, the Arrow in the Knee starts to get a lot better, so we're going to, I think, take Arrow this time. 9 times out of 10, I'd probably take Pack Wolf, but just given the other cards we have, I think we have more synergy with this. Alright, Snow Wolf is 2 for a 1/3, and if we have the most creatures, he's a 3/3. So if you're winning, win more. 1/6 Guard, and if you Pilfer, you can change lanes. So that's kind of nice so that you can lock up 1 lane and then get cheeky and go lock up the other. Or Green Pack Stalker. He's a 3/4 guard. Stats aren't that great for 4, but if there is a wounded enemy creature in that lane, then you get a 5/6 for 4, which is great. And we've got Arrow and we've got the Shaman to try to wound, plus just normal trades. This is going to be the pick. Too many synergies to ignore all around good creature. Alright, Harvester. He's a 2/4 Prophecy guard, gain 4 health. If you get him off Prophecy, he's fantastic. If you don't get him off Prophecy, he's junk. Probably going to ignore them. So then we have Bat or Ally. Ally would take us back to being 50-50 for triggers, which would be nice. But we're going to take the Bat here because I treat the Bat the same way I treat Cliff Racer. Because of the charge, he's pseudo removal, and the Drain can swing games heavy. So because we value removal, we're going to take the Bat. Alright, so Butcher, which we've talked about, good on turn 1, Ho-Hum on turn 3. Ally would push us again back closer to the 50-50 split. Right now we're 2 cards heavier on agility. Or the Veteran, which also puts us closer for our other ally. 1-5 doesn't seem like super great stats, but the 5 health actually matters a lot. But I think that the ally is probably still better. The only reason I'm tempted to take this is we're really light on 2-drops. The problem is that this is kind of a slow 2-drop is the best way I know how to describe it. Right? Somebody drops a Kvetch Soldier. Technically this trades even with it, but it's going to trade even with it across 3 turns. You know? Same thing if they have like a 3-2 2-drop. This can trade with it, but it's across 2 turns, right? Like, it's just so slow. So I think we take Ally here. And then just pray that we start seeing 2-drops. 2 Wounds Contemplation. If your opponent doesn't damage you on their turn, you sacrifice this and summon a Priest of 2 Moons in each lane. The Priest of 2 Moons are 2/2s that when they come into play, you gain 2 health. So basically, you get to gain life if you are already not taking damage. The other options are Warcry, which is actually underrated in my opinion, but it's like a worse Savage Roar if you play Hearthstone. Give all friendly creatures in one lane +2/+0. Or Malefic Wreath. Apparently we're just going to live in the 3-drops. Again, removal I value really high using the bread acronym, so we're going to take the removal. But we need to start getting some cheap drops. Or not, or we can just live in the 3-drop range, I guess. Sunhold Medic to 1/1, and you give a creature +0/+2. Scouting Patrol for Smork. We get a 1/1 in each lane. Or the Courier. In this instance, I actually think we take the Scouting Patrol over Courier. I really like Courier because it's another thing to help kind of trigger finish off effects and things like that, because you can just drop it in a lane. It's likely going to do 1 damage to something and then die, but because it draws a card, it's like Cycle. But since we already have 2 Resolute Allies, we kind of want to keep our willpower stats high, and we need early game, and so while this isn't a 2-drop at this point, we're going to just settle for it. Alright, Healing Potion. Great and constructed if you're playing Control Mage, otherwise I'm not a huge fan. Spider Worker doesn't do much for us. Like Prophecy, you just get to draw a card anyway. Doesn't count towards any of our color counts. So that leaves us with Thieves Guild Recruit, which is great. It's a 2-drop, which we need. It replaces itself by drawing a card, and even though its stats are lackluster, it can help poke things for, again, our kind of finish off or wounded effects. So we're going to take this. All of these are not, like, ultra fun. So Maple Shield is just a 0/03. It can be useful, but I'm not, like, super high on it. Dwarven Sphere is like a neutral Harpy without Prophecy, right? So it's a 2/3, comes into play, shackle a creature. Not super big on it. I think in this case we need 2-drops, so we're going to take the Priest of 2 Moons. Priest also has Prophecy, which isn't horrible. It feeds our willpower stats, which isn't horrible. It's just not a good 2-drop, right? Like 2/2 is not very great for us, but we're going to take it. Alright, so again, 1-drop, but I'm not a fan. Again, Dark Harvester, fantastic off Prophecy, otherwise junk. So that leaves us with Fighters Guild. 2-drop, good. Prophecy, extra good in Arena because of the smaller deck size. Lethal, great. Guard, great. Yes, we take this. We're really excited. We're really happy. Alright, so 2/1 Guard for our 1-drops. Or we've got a 3/2 Pilfer +3/+0 this guy seems like he could get out of control, but in truth and in practice, he's really lackluster. I've never been excited. That leaves us with Nimble Ally. So right now, we've taken 16 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus... So we should be, I believe, 9 and 7. Actually, we're in favor of agility right now. So I think we end up taking this. So he pumps up if we have agility, and he's just a better card than both of them. So with no 2-drops and with a lackluster 1-drop, we just take the best available. Alright, so this is actually a tough decision for me because I really like Frenzied Witchman. I think he's versatile. He's a 4/2's worth of stats for 3, but you can split him around and it messes with combat math. Barded Gar has a lot of utility because you can give something you want guard, but in this instance, because we're still light on 2-drops and Smork is the name of our game right now because we don't have a lot of endgame beef, I think we take the footpad here. So, while I like the guard, I think I would rather still have a 2-drop. I also really like the Witchman, but clearly Smork is our game plan here, so I think we're going to take the footpad. We have Portcullis, 09 Prophecy Guard for 5. This is very similar to Dark Harvester. Great if off of Prophecy, kind of hate your life if you hardcast it. So that leaves us with Highwayman or Butcher. I kind of want to take the Highwayman so that we are still closer to the 50-50 split for Endurance, but his stats are kind of lackluster, and we already have 1. Whereas the Butcher we don't have 1 of yet, and we're already heavy in agility, so I guess we might as well commit. And he has a chance to be a 1-drop for us, and when he's a 1-drop, he's fantastic. So, at this point, since we're Smork is love, Smork is life, right? We're trying to go as aggressive as possible. I actually think we take the Butcher here over the Highwayman. It's a tough call, because they're both really good. The benefit to the Highwayman is that we can just keep our pedal down, right? Like, we can just keep the gas going as long as we can keep him hitting. I think we're still going with the Butcher. Aggression. Okay. So, these are all really good picks. Wow. Alright, so Broomer Profiteer. Fantastic 2-drop. 3/2's good stats. Whenever you summon another creature, gain 1 health. Every little bit helps. We also need 2-drops. So that could be good. Vulture is a 3/2 for 3, but if a creature died this turn, you get a 5/4 for 3, which is fantastic. Also very aggressive. And then we have Imperial Reinforcements, so we can fill a lane with 1/1 grunts. This could be really good with our Resolute Allies if they triggered, but since we're so much heavier agility, I don't think we can bank on that. So I think that this one is out. So now we're between... Now we're between Bruma Profiteer and the Vulture. I could honestly see like an argument made either way, right? Like I really like the Profiteer, and we're really short on 2-drops because even though this says 6, really it's 5 because of the finish off. But Vulture is just like insane tempo when you get it to trigger. I think we're gonna go with the Vulture. The 5/4 for 3 is too good to pass up. I think this is a pretty easy one for us to pick now. Warcry again, it's kind of like a Bad Savage Roar. So now we have Murkwater Witch, which we passed up earlier, but we need 2-drops, and he's a 2-drop, and he's removal, and we do have some finish off effects and things that work with it. The only other choice here would be Soul Rest Marshal. Now, Soul Rest is a 4/4, and if you have the health lead, you get to play another card for 5 or less, which would be great if we had more beef at the end game, but let's be honest, more often than not, this is just going to end up playing a 3-drop for us. I think it's better to Smork and stay on curve with the Witch than it is to play this right now. So as good as this is, I think we go with the Witch. Now again, a legit decision, right? We got a lot of Smork, and so we could feed it with more 3-drops. But we have almost no late game. And Chorus Reaper is removal. Granted, it's expensive, but this thing can definitely swing games in your favor. And I like to have at least a couple of late game cards. So it's either the Shackle, the Ally. Even though we drafted 2 of them, at this point they're just 3/3s for 3. Like we can't count on regularly hitting these. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we take the Reaper here because it's beef and we value removal really high. So removal. All right, so this is actually a legitimate tough decision as well. So finish off as removal. We value removal. We already got one, but we've got a lot of things to trigger it. However, Daring Cutpurse is one of the best 2-drops that you can get, in my opinion. Right? Because it's got prophecy, so you can maybe play it for free. It snowballs in that it gets bigger every turn if you're hitting with the Pilfer. And then, of course, we have Dwarven Sphere. So to me, it's between Cutpurse and Finish Off. I could see a legit argument for either one, but we're kind of short on quality 2-drops, so I'm leaning towards the Cutpurse since we already have one Finish Off. I normally still would just take this. Like, again, removal is super huge, but I feel like Cutpurse is the play here. So we're going to do it. Epics and interesting choices, even though I'm pretty sure I know what we're picking. So Blackmail is, in my opinion, kind of lackluster in Arena. You put a copy of a random creature from your opponent's deck into your hand. It's Arena. Like, this is a crapshoot. This might as well just say, put random creature in your hand for one. Ravenous Hunger has the potential to shine. So the 4 attack on a 2-drop is swingy. He gains drain if there's an enemy creature in this lane. So if they've got a creature in the shadow lane and you play him there, you're basically getting a 4/1 drain, which is great. But the back end makes him kind of brittle. Or we get Loyal Housecarl. So you get a 4/4's worth of stats for 5, which in my opinion is pretty lackluster. But you get to split the stats, you get to give something guard, and it has prophecy. Again, we value prophecy pretty high in Arena because of the small deck size. We're playing Smork, so prophecy is even more like valuable to us because we're going to be going face, and if they hit us back, we can get free tempo. So because of those reasons, I think we take the Housecarl, and we don't really have a lot of top end. All right, so pretty much know what we're going to do here, but just to explain the picks, we've got Scout Leader. It's 5 for a 2/2, not very good. When you summon it, you get a 2/2 Wood Elf Scout with charge in each lane that a wounded enemy creature is in. Chances are you're only going to have one wounded enemy creature in a lane more often than not. So this is really like 5 for a 4/4's worth of stats and only 2 of them charge. In my opinion, it's just not very good. Manticora. If you play Constructed and you're used to Control Mage, you know it's great. It's 6/6, it's guard, it blows up a creature. But at 10, in my opinion, I think it's too prohibitive for us to play. Because Arena games tend to be faster, and our game plan with all of our 2s and 3s is definitely not like, hey, let's play a 10-drop. So, that leaves us with Tribune. 5/4 for 5 are respectable stats. Summon, give friendly creatures in this lane drain. Again, if you're used to playing against Control Mage and Constructed, you know that this guy can win games by himself, and that's certainly the case in Arena as well. So we definitely take this. This is an easy pick. All right, so we have a 1-drop in Sunhold Medic, a Spider Worker with not a lot of ways for us to really pump it, and Courier. So in this instance, we're going to take the Courier because the other ones are just all lackluster. This at least has guard, it draws so it replaces itself. Probably not going to play this like on curve often, but in this case this is filler because all of the choices are pretty bad, so we take the Courier. Alright, so this one's actually a decent decision. Elixir of Light Feet, activate to give a creature cover. I'm not a big fan of. I don't think it impacts the board nearly enough. So that's a no. So then we're left with Wreath. We've already got one Wreath, but again, I value removal really high, so I'm tempted to take that. The other option is the Executioner. Now, the reason this is a tough decision is because this guy is very snowbally, and the 4 health makes him hard to deal with. So there is a chance where he could like win a game on his own. So if you go to that BREAD acronym, right, from Magic and from other card games, right, there's bombs and then removal. So really we have to say, is he a bomb? Like, is he something, like he can win games by himself, but is he likely to win the game every time? I think the answer is no, probably not every time. Again, with our Smort deck, he's probably pretty good, but I think that we still stick with the removal, right? BREAD acronym, I don't think he's bomb enough to qualify for the B part, so we go with removal. All right. This is actually a tough decision because none of these really go with our game plan. We've got the Dagirat Mystic. Again, he's the guy that pilfers a support. We have no supports, so we're ruling him out now. So then we have 5 for a 1/5, so the stats aren't great. Green Touch Spriggan. When you gain health, Green Touch Spriggan gains that much power. So if we had a lot of health gain effects, he could balloon up, right? But let's look at our health gain effects. Ready? Ready? Waiting. All right, we got 1 priest, 1 giant bat. In case you're wondering, guys, that's where it ends. Oh, and Pillaging Tribune. Okay, so the only way this guy is honestly good is if we play Pillaging Tribune. It could work. So our other option is Immolating Blast. Immolating Blast is destroy all creatures except for 1 random creature on both sides of each lane. So basically, you got 2 lanes, and when you play Immolating Blast, if there's a bunch of creatures all across both lanes, then you've got 1 on each side for each person when Immolating Blast is done. So again, we have to go back to our acronym, right? The bread acronym is bombs, then removal. So is this enough of a bomb to not have us take the removal? I don't think the answer is yes. Tribune is great. If we combo that with Tribune, sweet. But we can't bank on getting Tribune every time we get this, and a 1/5 for 5 is really lackluster. And if we only get the other ones, like let's say we play him and the next turn we do Giant Bat, then he's still only a 3/5 for 5, which is not very good. So there's too much that is a contingency based play here. I don't think he's a bomb enough. So we go with removal. All right, so this one's going to be easy, but just to go over it, we have an zero cost 1/2 guard. Not like that great stat wise. 4 for a 6/3 with breakthrough is actually pretty good stats. This guy can do work, especially in arena. He hits like a truck. But we also have Cliff Racer, and we already took 1 Cliff Racer, and we're going to take a second because he's both reach and potentially removal. He's just, I think, better, so we're going to take this. And then we go to our last pick. So again, 0 drop, not very good, so we're going to skip that. So now we get to, again, do we take a 3rd wreath? We value removal really high, but 3 wreaths might feel like a lot to me. Or do we take the Dune Smuggler? So Dune Smuggler is a body, and he's got great utility because he allows us to move a creature in a lane, and when we move that creature, they get bigger. I play this guy a lot in Constructed. He's done a lot of work for me. I'm a big fan. I know we follow that bread acronym, and he is certainly not a bomb. So, in theory, we're supposed to take the wreath here, but we're kind of heavy. We've got 6 actions. We got the finish off. We have 2 wreaths. We have the Murkwater Shaman. We have the Murkwater Witch. We have Arrow in the Knee. Immolating Blast. We have a lot of removal. So I feel like, even though we should follow the acronym, at some point you also have to win the game of bodies. So I think we take the Dune Smuggler as our last pick.
Are you ready for a bloodbath?
Oh, we're playing against Scout. Feels bad, man. I think we hunt for 2 drops. I like the Smuggler, though. It's not exactly the 2 drop I was hoping to find. But if it's what you got...
If I fall, the Hist will reclaim me.
Priest of Moons.
What have we here?
I really was hoping that I could kill something to Vulture there, but right, yeah, exactly. Priest, we're running Priest of Moons, but that was kind of the best thing we had going at that time. Pass your turn. Pass your turn. Okay.
Chaos take you! You will die, Shapeskin.
Kind of wanted to get Murkwater Shaman roll in there too, but since we had the activation... Oh well. That's fine too.
Chaos take you! You will die, Shapeskin.
Yffra stands with me. Will be mine.
You will die, Shapeskin. You will die, Shapeskin.
I think that that's the play, because we want to try to keep the Murkwater alive. Because it's just so strong, it's just too much value. Yes, Curse into Pact does work, sorry. There is a delay, so when you guys are typing, sometimes you're typing after I've already taken the action.
God's mercy.
But yes, that definitely works, and it's certainly the play that we take there.
The forest is ours. Meet your doom.
You will die, Shapeskin. They make it too easy.
Yeah, I know, BM. I just feel really good about hitting 3 wins, gang. I'm like ultra elite or something because I hit 3 wins.
Ultra Combo!
I have a lot of random video game sound effects on here.
Combatants, begin.
Turn down for what?
Alright, that one's not video games, but... Ship you back. We'll keep the cut purse, but... Yeah, that's better.
Greetings.
Alright, fine, we'll say hello. We'll be nice.
Your destruction is at hand.
They make it too.
It's gonna suck really bad when this soul split's on my face. Soul split kills cut purse, feels bad, man.
Die, Outlander.
If I fall, the Hist will reclaim me.
Be on your guard.
Well, that's another way to...
Outlander.
It's another way to keep a grown man down. We could attack, finish off in Thieves Guild, and then try to Murkwater next turn. We could attack and Feasting Vulture, and then try to finish off next turn, but still no Murkwater. Or we could Smuggler move it over. I think that's what we're gonna do.
Wins this day.
Because even if he attacks and kills this here, this will be big enough that the Ashlander won't kill it by itself. So I actually think that's the right play. So many things I wanted to do that turn, but or not. Or he can sword up on my face.
What have we here?
Stand fast. Your destruction is at hand.
Wow. Alright. It's a little rough. Main deck sword, right? Like, I would never pick one main deck, but I can't be mad at it. It just kind of beat my ass. I really would like to get Murkwater Shaman active, but the big problem right now is I don't have an accurate way to keep him alive. Thieves Guild Recruit might find me something, but then our Vulture without something dying doesn't do much for us. We can't finish off. I think we still just dig anyway.
Awaiting orders.
I think we just dig anyway. And hope this goes face. It's a big win for us if that goes face.
Die.
No big win. That's actually not too bad for us. It's going to be annoying to do that, but he's going to not have any cards. So having them warded up won't mean much if we end up Murkwatering. We actually might not give him a rune this next turn just to develop Murkwater here. And then we'll have like our whole host of options to do the next turn. So if we develop Murkwater, then we can maybe like Reaper here the next turn, which would be really strong because like Reaper plus Curse like shuts that entire lane down. So the ideal scenario would be that we draw like another 2-drop to develop along with Murkwater and then have this live for a turn. Just pray he doesn't have removal. He's not wanting to give me runes either, which is weird. Maybe he went AFK, maybe he had to poop. Maybe he DC'd. Oh, see, there we go. There's the ideal. So we're going to do this, we're going to do this. We're going to pass. Hope that he's DC'd or got a poop. I mean, this is what we would have done regardless, right? It's not like we're like racing against the clock. But yeah, that sets up, you know, if he didn't have like removal for this, that sets up a bonkers Reaper turn over there. Yeah, easy win. Easy win, easy life. GGBB. Yeah, I think we're about to get what I call the explosive diarrhea win. Oh, he came back.
My scales move in shadow.
He came back. Oh, and he had the bolt. Boo.
Apologies.
Well, I mean, we're still gonna Reaper there, I think.
I hear and obey.
Gadget is not amused.
Right? Right. Yeah, I think we're still Reaper here. Anyone has a bot for this game? If they have, they haven't posted it, and so I'm not saying it doesn't exist. You probably would just have to hunt for it. But I think that's the sort of thing that the devs would frown on, you know. So
Tacit is not amused.
I hear and obey.
we have 8, right? So we can do Wreath, finish off Vulture. Seems pretty good there. But now he's got a bunch of cards again. Oh, and he had a second bolt. Boo.
I do love a good fight.
The power of lightning bolts. Lightning bolt game too strong.
Tacit is not amused.
I hear and obey.
My sword hand itches.
Yeah, this one never really works for me either. The only time I ever had this one work is I had one draft where I had 2 Breton Conjurers and 2 of the 3/3 that doubles in size when he loses ward. So I took one of those, and it was like it was just every bit as dumb as you would imagine. Uh-oh.
Come dance with
Stand fast.
That was kind of a bad time for us.
Shall we begin?
All of the wards. This guy. All of the wards. I mean, if we do that, then that guy's basically rendered useless as well.
The power of the hist fills me.
I think we save this for now. I'm tempted to do it here, but he would need removal for this to trade with anything anyway, and if he has removal, he's just going to spend it on that, right? Like, I don't see a net benefit of playing this right now in our current situation. We're not likely to get bursted by 22, and again, I stand by my removal thing. That Firestorm sucked, though. That was quality play. Oh my god. Can I have this guy's deck?
You won't even see me coming. By the aid, a fine battle.
Alright.
Well fought.
We did it, gang. With that pile, we smorked our way to 7 wins. So, hooray! GGBB. Let's go open some packs.
Gentlemen, we have our latest legend of the arena. A dramatic finish
Blast BM. Yeah, I probably should have.
to be rewarded.
Schwitty did say 7. Schwitty had faith. Look at that. And then this should be 3 packs. I will take it, though. Well done, us, team. Well done, us.